So, I don't quite know why I'm doing this. As you can see, everything behind me is a fucking mess. But mostly, barring those boxes over there that are unpacked and on their way out, everything's pretty much unpacked in the new house. Just starting to feel like myself again. It's really quite something. I know I seem to be kind of harping on about this, but I've never felt so divorced from myself as I have in the last month or two. It's just kind of felt as if I've been living in somebody else's body or squatting or something else. But it's just been nice to come home, quite literally. Um, there's no screaming and shouting at 2 o'clock in the morning. There's no screeching neighbours, no carrying on, no fish smell seeping through the house at unpleasant hours, and you can go to bed. I can actually I can go to bed whenever I like, which is magic, and put my head down and not get interrupted, not get woken up by possibly one of the saddest sex lives I've ever been aware of in my in my life. Ah, God, you you've never lived, I suppose, or you've never really known kind of lunacy until you can hear farting from the neighbours through the walls, and they're when they have all 15 seconds of their allotted sex life for the month. Yeah, God, yeah. I, to be completely honest, I don't actually even know if I'm going to post this. I'm using this little moment as a stalling excuse for not actually doing any writing. We are down to kind of pumpkin hour, quite literally, for the Halloween collection for this year. This is 2019. I don't know why I do that. I think from the years of wearing a watch when I was younger, and I haven't worn a watch since I was about 13. Um, I think it's just kind of like a mental, physical response. I think I'm a Pavlovian watch checker. So, um, as of yet, the collection is untitled, but Pip has got all of her stories written, as is characteristic of her nature and what she does, and she gets ahead of the curve, and she just does shit in a fashion that I do not know. Um, on the other hand, I've got about 3 stories done. I've got a whole ream of ideas and layups and all the other stuff. I've just basically been without the time or the mental capacity to sit down and actually do any fucking writing. So thus, here we are at the moment. This weekend's going to be well, now that we've got the house mostly unpacked and our lives are returning to some level of normalcy, I can sit down and actually hammer some words out and start creating again. I started writing an interesting little tale yesterday about I'm not sure if it's a little girl or a little boy yet, but it seems it can go either way. It doesn't really change the outcome much, but about a little kid who has a meeting with a very large spider when they're a child, and the spider says, too skinny, or not fat enough, or whatever the story is, and then their battle with kind of eating disorders throughout their life as they wrestle with the fact that all the spiders in the world are watching them. Um, it's fairly short. It'll be a flash piece, I imagine, but it'll be fun. Yeah, don't be alarmed by the smoke in the background. There's incense burning. I've just seen that. Um, yeah, and that's pretty much what's been going on. God, just life. Life has been lifey. As I've said on kind of like Facebook and such recently, the this move might not have been the most difficult move that I've had, but physically it took a lot more than usual. And with us both being as sick as we have been, we are only starting to feel slightly normal about now, and that's nearly 2-3 weeks later. We lost a full weekend's worth of packing. We were both in bed for about 4 days, just camped out in the lounge watching lots and lots of horror movies, and it was difficult, really, really difficult. Sore throat, coughing, totally don't wish that on anybody. It was not a fun time, not even a little. My voice is still kind of coming and going as we go. We were both pretty much just surviving on junk food and cider and just chemically pushing through to get to the end product. And that final push on the move was, I nearly tapped out, to be honest. We had a van rented, and just such a mission. We started the day at about 7 in the morning, and then having packed until kind of the last bit of the evening, the night before on the Thursday, picked up the van in the morning, had a pair of hands to help us for a portion of the move. Could have used them for longer, to be honest. About midday, my body started giving out because I was pushing it, and it was a lot of boxes and a lot of stairs. It was about 4 flights of stairs to load all these boxes down, and it was mostly books. We minimized pretty much everything we had previously, like as we packed. So we got rid of, I think I said it before on the last video, which was weeks and weeks and weeks ago. We got rid of pretty much, it was about 3 to 4 bin bags full to the brim of DVD covers. So we bought a we bought one of those big fat 400, 500 thing DVD sleeve, those terrible things that everybody hated back in the day before MP3s, if you can even remember that far back, young'uns, and dispensed all of our DVDs into that and got rid of the cases. So that reduced what we owned by a lot. I also went to town with my books. I got rid of most of my Anne Rice books and a lot of other books that I've kind of read over the years, and I don't think I'll ever reread. And if I want to reread them, I'll buy them again or get them in audio, which seems to be my way. Reading wise and into my brain, I'm currently researching, going down the rabbit hole with contemporary Satanism, which has been interesting. I've got mixed feelings about everything, but that's kind of more where I'm coming to it from historically, not necessarily what they stand for or any of that kind of stuff. I'm thoroughly enjoying it though, and have found some really, really enjoyable podcasts. So if you want to become slightly more educated, I'd recommend you check out, it's called the Black Mass Appeal podcast, which is, I think, the San Francisco chapter of the Satanic Temple in the Bay Area and such. Guys are fairly knowledgeable. It's an interesting discussion on various stuff. And like I said, although I might not be in alignment with a lot, well, not even a lot, but with everything that the guys go to, that's not necessarily because they're doing anything off. It's totally me. As a result of that, the rabbit hole has continued spiraling downwards, and I've got into Ghost recently, the band Ghost. I was aware of them, and it's just been a nice thing to actually discover a new band for a change. And not because they're new, but new to me. It's been a while since I've discovered new music that I've got into. So Pip and I have pretty much been listening to Ghost songs on repeat for the last 3 weeks. Super excited for the Wicked Library anthology, which is coming out. It'll be next month, so that's October 2019. I think it's called 13 Wicked Tales. Super stoked. It's going to be really cool. The cover's fantastic. We got sneak previews of the art, which has been done by Jeanette Andromeda, which is fantastic. Absolutely humbled to have been invited to participate, and just stoked it has just been such a fun little trip, and man, so lucky, man. It's so cool. I'm gonna end it about there, I think. If I feel like there's a lot more to talk about, and I'm sure there is, but that'll come in the future. As with always, if you want extra content or you want to kind of see the inside track on what we're doing, you want to hit up the Pugnacious Press Patreon feeds. That's patreon.com/Pugnacious Press, one word. Or horror stuff. There's a lot of kind of behind the scenes. It's a little behind at the moment because we've taken a break. So it's been paused for the last couple of weeks just while we get back into the groove and we get our lives sorted around us. But that'll be up to speed again. There's some exciting stuff planned for October. So that's Deadflix, patreon.com/Deadflix. And as always, I mean, my website, all the other stuff's in the link in the doobly-doo, and I'll furnish those doodads. But this is ticking on well into 12 minutes at this point, or about to. So I'm going to conclude it, and I will catch up with you guys soon. Have a good time.